All right, this video is going to be part 1 of your final exam review. So first of all, what you see in front of you is the reference sheet you're going to get. So you'll get your full unit circle, you'll get your law of cosines, and you'll get your summation equations. There's a couple more that are actually built into the test. We'll address those when we get to those, but for the reference sheet, this is what you'll get. The test itself is 47 questions total. There are 33 multiple choice, and there are 14 open-ended, which is where your graphing is going to be, and then the systems of equations and stuff like that. Each of the questions are 2 points apiece, except for there are 2 3-variable systems, one using Gaussian elimination with back substitution or Gauss-Jordan, you get to choose, and the other using the Cramer's rule. So those will be worth double questions. You can choose to either use a scientific calculator the entire time, or you can use a graphing but only for the first 10 questions, and then you would have to put your calculator on the ground and not have it for the remaining time. So scientific is definitely your best option. This video is going to cover just one chapter. We're going to start with chapter 6. So this goes through each of the chapter reviews from your textbook, and I kind of just scaled back on what wouldn't be covered on your test. So in chapter 6, which is where we started in January, this is where this packet starts. We started with law of sines and the law of cosines. So the law of sines is one of the equations that you're not given. This hopefully is one of those easy ones to remember. This is your A over sine of A equals B over sine of B, or C over sine of C. And you can do any 2 of those at a time and then cross multiply, divide. So you're going to get questions in which you will get given 2 angles and the side, 2 angles and the side, right? Just like those. You do not have to worry about the ambiguous case. So the angle side, you don't have to worry about those because there won't be the second triangle. Then we got into area of a triangle, an oblique triangle. This is another formula that you need to know that's not given to you. So note that highlighted in pink is what you need to know, and in blue is what you will be given. We got to area, and then some word problems, either dealing with law of sines or cosines, and then we got into law of cosines. So the law of cosines are what will be given to you on that reference sheet. That would be something like 17, which we'll use for side, 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 or 23, side, angle, side. Again, some word problems there with law of cosines. Then we got into Heron's area formula. This is one that you need to know. A plus B plus C. Actually, that's a lie. Sorry. This is one that's given to you. It will be given to you in the instructions on the question. S is A plus B plus C over 2, and the area is the square root of S times S minus A times S minus B times S minus E. So these questions you will definitely have a calculator for, whether it's graphing or scientific, you'll have it for all of that. 6.3, we got into vectors, and we talked about component form. So this is your x2 minus x1, comma, y2 minus y1, where your initial is your 1s and your terminal is your 2s, and you leave it in component form. And then the magnitude is the absolute value, the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared, or if you already have the component form, it's the square root of a squared plus b squared. Then you get into finding the sum of vectors. Okay, then we're adding, subtracting, scalar multiple on vectors in both component form and the IJ format. Then you're finding the vector in the same direction. So this you put the component form over the magnitude. That is, again, highlighted in pink, which means you need to know that one. The dot product comes up. So if it asks you to find the dot product of 2 vectors, we multiply the first term in each, and then add it to the second term. So if this is u1, comma, u2, and then v1, comma, v2, then we find the dot product by multiplying these two, u1 times v1, and then add it to the multiplication of these two, u2 plus v2. And it will be an individual number. Dot product is just one number. Okay, that's more dot product. Okay, angle between two vectors. This will be given to you. This is one that requires the calculator. So it's the dot product of the two vectors over the product of the magnitudes. And then we second cosine that whole thing to get the angle in between. That would be both 69 and 70. Okay, under 47, I want you to add if the magnitude, same set of directions, but if the magnitude, let's say, is 5 at the end. So the way that it is for 47, you're finding your unit vector. And unit vector means that it's a vector in the same direction, but it has a magnitude of 1. If it said it has a magnitude of 5, then you're going to do what you do for 47, but then you're going to multiply it by 5 at the end. And that is what will be covered from chapter 6. So the next video will go over chapter 7.